I'm Joe Pritchard with Kentucky Housing. Today we're going to be inspecting a water heater using the NSPECT inspection protocol. Now the first thing whenever we come out to a home and we're checking a water heater, we want to know whether it's an electric water heater or if it's a gas water heater. This water heater is a gas water heater, and there's a couple of things that give it away. Up top we have this silver pipe that's known as a flue, and what its job is to do is to take carbon monoxide from the water heater outside instead of the carbon monoxide, which is essentially a poison gas, leaking back into the home. The second thing is we have the igniter down here, and the yellow line is the gas line coming in. So we know this is a gas water heater. Now going back up top, let's do the full inspection now that we know it's a gas water heater. Back up to the flue, the silver pipe. We can see that there's a large gap there. It's going to allow the carbon monoxide to leak back into the home. So that right off the bat is a failed water heater just because of that. But there's also some other issues. On the flue has a downward slope. It should have an upward slope. It doesn't have to be straight up. It can be, but it can't have any downward slope. That might allow the gas to pool and eventually come back out here in that gap. So this one has two issues so far with the flue. There is a third back in the back. I'm not sure if you can see. There's another gap right where it meets the wall back there. So this flue has a few issues. Coming down, we see this valve on the side. We call this a temperature pressure relief valve, or a TPR valve. What it does is when the water heater malfunctions, it allows the boiling hot water inside to leave and alleviate some of that pressure. Once that leaves, it comes out the discharge line, which is this pipe. Now back to the TPR valve. On occasion, we'll see these where they're pinned against a wall, where this lever right here will not be allowed to move. If it's pinned like this, that valve will not open. It needs to be able to move freely. So if that's the case, that water heater would need to be rotated where it is in a better location. The valve's actually in a good location on this one, but back to this discharge line. We've got a couple of issues with it. A discharge line cannot have PVC piping in it anywhere. Now this one looks like a mix of PVC and CPVC, but the white part here is PVC. Now you can tell there's markings on it right here and up top. If you need to know what kind of pipe it is, it's stamped on there somewhere. We know this one's PVC. So this one has some issues. It also has, they've used tape instead of any kind of solvent or glue to get on there. And then another issue is where this one terminates, it terminates into the wall, which is higher than where the valve is. And the reason that's important is because that means this goes up at some point. It's kind of like the flue. The flue must go up. This must go down. It either needs to go down, then out of the home, or down to within just a little bit off the floor. But it cannot go down and then back up and out. That will fail it. Coming down here, we've got some boxes. Now, why would boxes fail the water heater? It's in a closet. Seems like a good location to store some boxes. Well, it would be, except for this is a gas water heater. And so there's open flames around the bottom where the pilot light is or whenever it's heating. And we've got cardboard here that's flammable. We can't have flammable material around a gas water heater. That includes up top. I've done inspections before where I've seen people, this is where they store their Walmart sacks. Probably no worse place in the home to store a Walmart sack than right on top of a gas water heater. So this whole area needs to be free of anything flammable, or pretty much anything that you think you should store there, you should not. Coming back down, we've got where the ignition is, and then we've got a cover missing, so that's a problem. But back to this gas line coming in. The gas line looks like a normal gas line that you would see. The flex pipe is okay, but the problem we have is there's no shutoff valve here. There must be a shutoff valve in the location of the gas appliance. So If there is a shutoff valve on the other side of the wall where it's going through the wall, that's great, but this will still fail inspection because there has to be a shutoff valve also within the location of the gas appliance. And that pretty much wraps up how Kentucky Housing would do a water heater inspection.